How do you see the cycle playing out? Are you a cycle believer? Are you a cycle skeptic?
I want to know your opinion afterwards. I know you are very critical, but I don't know, maybe your audience heard it already.
I think I sound more critical on Twitter than
you
if you actually read it. No, if you actually go through and then you actually, I think sometimes the headline is very catchy, more than, or triggering more than the actual fundamentals.
I mean, I'm a cycle believer in some way, but you have to think in terms of statistics. Usually a sample consists out of 200 data points at least, right? If you look at the Bitcoin chart, we have like 3, maybe 4 cycles. So it is likely that we are a little bit, that we are looking at this. We are identifying patterns, but they might be random. But if I really look at not only the patterns, which are just 4, it's definitely not having enough significance to say statistically, okay, that is what's happening actually. I still want to say there are so many similarities in terms of declining percentage growth, in terms of top to bottom, how many months does it take, in terms of the halving, that it's usually front running a little bit. When we are compared to the timing of the halving, beating the previous all-time high, how much higher is every single bear market than the previous bear market low? Like, there are so many similarities that I find it hard to believe that we are a little bit fooled by the randomness. But I still give this point. But I want to say, if you have to pinpoint me, this is the only data I have. It's history, and then I would say, okay, if that's the only data I have, I want to take that as a predictor for the future. Yeah. So I do believe in it. So far, more than I don't believe in it. And if that's true, then of course, now soon, within the next few months, we should see a more stronger upwards movement and probably somewhere around the halving, a break of the all-time high.
Oh, really? That early?
Yeah, I mean...
Next 6 months. Dude, 6 months. We're in September.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Let me think about when the last halving was. The last halving was 2020, probably, I don't know.
All-time high was
May.
about 6 months afterwards.
Was like a few months afterwards, so...
Maybe 5 months, 4 months.
Yeah, so
Q2 next month.
We could think maybe if we just follow completely, which is never going to happen, but then probably within the next, I don't know, 8 to 12 months or something, we should break the 70,000. But as I said, I'm just taking past performance as an indication, and that's the closest we can get. Other than that, of course.
And then you have the statement, past performance doesn't predict future performance.
But then you have also history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes.
True.
Right? And it does kind of rhyme, but also we have 1,000 exogenous factors which we could then take into consideration. When is the Fed going to start printing again, which is something we should actually not rely on, because that's not why we went into crypto, right? Yeah. But then how are the wars going to play out? Who is going to be the next president of the United States? It's a lot of exogenous factors, of course. Some of them are really not predictable. And if they are predictable, in accordance to the market efficiency hypothesis, it should be already priced in. So very, very difficult thing to predict the price. But overall, well, every 4 years we have an all-time high, more or less.
Have you ever looked at M2 over the last 12 years?
It's insane,
but have you ever looked at how the M2 movement like the money supply in M2? Look at the M2 flows that shows when is money being added to the system, when is money being removed to the system.
It's very much in correlation with the Bitcoin price.
100%.
Almost.
So you need to
it's
look
like 0.9, I think.
So you need to look at the story. The story is we had the financial crisis, and right in 2009, Bitcoin gets started, and that's when all the money printing starts to kind of support this, right?
100%.
So here, the government had to finance for about 4 years, coincidentally, most of the debt. So for 4 years, they're kind of printing money like crazy, and then they need to destroy it, and then they kind of cycle back. That's when the crash then always happens, right? And so then that's where you suddenly have those 4-year cycles. So because it always happens in between. So if you then look at the money being printed and being destroyed, you realize that it could be, I'm not saying, right? So I could be, I believe this fundamentally. I don't believe it all in Bitcoin cycle, right? 0, nothing. I think it is 100% because M2 coincidentally got reset in 2009, aggressive money printing for about 2-3 years. Then M2 completely goes negative. They completely destroy it. That's when the Bitcoin price totally crashes. Then you can look again, 2016, the money printing press goes on. Shortly afterwards, the Bitcoin price starts rallying. 2018, you can look, money starts getting destroyed like nuts. And then crypto crashes. And then you look at, 2020, we all know, right? Biggest money printing ever. Now, then you look at how much did money get printed. The peak's always higher. You look at the Bitcoin price, always goes higher, right? And so right now we're in this historic kind of money destruction, and we're having this massive kind of sell-off, right? And I personally am of the belief that we would have a way larger sell-off